Talk Audio. New year, new episode. Hi and welcome everybody to the fourth issue of our Tech Talk audio series about responsible AI with Rudraksh Pawalkar. He's Accenture's global delivery lead for the internal responsible AI program. In this episode, we'll focus on the role of responsible AI in healthcare and life sciences. So hi Rudy, why do we need responsible AI in the context of medicinal industries?
See, as we discussed in the previous episode, we are surrounded with AI everywhere, and we are looking at AI processing the data more and more day by day in the healthcare and life sciences industry, looking at disease diagnosis to medical healthcare to any formulation of chemicals to define and derive formula for a medicine. There have been more and more advancement in the implementation of AI where clinicians and researchers are leveraging them more and more to process the data and then provide predictive and prescriptive analytics on the findings of the AI. So it becomes very important that we put responsibility by design element into the AI that we are using for life sciences and pharma, so that the data that is being processed is handled properly. There is no bias issue, there is no transparency issue, and other elements are also taken care of from the responsible AI principles. We want to make sure that particular AI that is taking a decision for a human life without the intervention of human is processing the data properly. So we have to have proper guidelines and standards defined so that we are not misdiagnosing anyone or recommending wrong medication due to the wrong analysis of the patient information. And at the same time, we are talking about the statistics because these statistics drive at large the prediction and prescription diagnosis outcomes, right? So from that point of view, there is still a bit more needs to be done to increase the confidence and responsibility aspect of AI in healthcare.
What regulations regarding the use of AI already exist for the healthcare sector?
There is one regulation which is HIPAA, which is Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. This was not designed to, let's say, regulate AI and ML in mind, right? It is more about the data. But there are some work being done to define such regulations, controls, and guidelines. Federal Drug Authority, FDA, they have been doing some pioneering work in defining some guidelines to consider AI ML work as well in terms of putting some good controls and matrix in place so that it is not entirely neglecting responsible by design aspect, but with the advent of risk-based governance, as we also spoke about at high level in previous episode, so such acts are being defined and would be enforced, let's say by the second half of 2024. If everything goes according to the timeline, then they will have a proper AI regulation in place that will also make sure implementation of AI in healthcare industry or pharmaceutical industry is abiding to such standards.
What about advantages? Where do you see the biggest benefits for hospitals or biochemical companies if they focus on using AI responsibly?
If you are talking about ESG, right, which is environmental, social, and governance,
Mhm.
there are two main aspects that if you're providing any kind of a service, you have to be trustworthy, that you have trust from your patients or anyone to whom you're providing the services, and you have to be compliant. So you also have to make sure that any regulatory body that can come and audit, you are making sure that you are compliant from the requirements perspective. So first is you're not breaking any law.
Mhm.
Second, you are also saving money because you're not liable to pay any fine, right? So
Mhm.
it's a win-win situation. You have trust from the regulatory bodies and saving money in terms of the fine. Second, you are building up a good reputation and a trustworthy reputation with the customer so that you can also gain their trust and then grow the business.
Can you give an example within healthcare where it is important that there is no bias in the AI or the data?
There are many applications which are available on phone as well these days,
Mhm.
which are able to do image processing, and those capabilities can be used as to do the image processing of a skin rash, right? And you can just take an image, and then that particular AI will process that image, match it up with the trained data and the diagnosis that that AI can predict based on the training that has happened, and give you the answer that okay, this is the XYZ thing, and if this is a problem, and go and see a doctor, or this could be the potential of the shelf medication that you can apply immediately, but at the same time go and seek a prescription and advice from a doctor. But at the same time, if the trained data does not include, let's say, people with dark skin, could be brown, could be black, but it is only trained on the data with lighter skin, right? So based on that, it can provide a very biased prescription and prediction, which may not suit the people of any other ethnicity. So those kind of things also needs to be checked, that it is completely 360-degree proof in terms of diagnosis. As per my recent research, I found out that Indians, right, from the Indian subcontinent are more susceptible to heart diseases compared to our counterparts from the western side of the world, because there are certain strands which are part of our DNA has certain chemicals in large amount compared to our counterparts in Europe or America. So that makes it a little bit easier for our heart to go under stress or have a bad reaction to certain situation. So these kind of genomics information should also be properly handled, and this is again going back to the point of statistics data, and that needs to be properly curated and maintained, cleaned, profiled, so that a good foundation for the training data is provided.
So, what do you expect? What challenges do these regulations bring regarding the use of AI in healthcare and life sciences?
We have to be careful when we use the word challenges. Definitely, there could be some challenges in terms of processing the data or adding one or two or four steps into the processes of deploying AI, developing AI, and then putting it to use. But once you have a mature AI system in place with all these guidelines, regulations, matrix in place, or policies in place, then I think it won't pose any challenges. Rather, it will support that AI to be a bit more trustworthy in nature. People will have a bit more confidence in their diagnosis or the outcome which they provide as part of the prescriptive and predictive analytics. So I don't see any challenges as per se in implementing it. It may just put some additional steps in the process, but those are always welcome.
Well, thank you, Rudy.
Thanks to you.
And thank you, dear listeners. Tune in again in a few weeks. We'll be talking about another field where responsible AI is being applied: automotive and public services. TikTok Audio.